Welcome back, everyone, to the GGBL, and man, oh man, do we have a wild episode here for you guys today. 55-minute video, and it's going to be jam-packed with a lot of content, so make sure you guys are strapped in, you got some food, got some snacks, got some drinks, because we're ready for it, guys. It's the playoff push. The year number 2 season finale is here. It's upon us, and as you see up on the screen, all the trades that were voted on were passed. So if you guys have not been kind of paying attention, or you haven't been able to check out the last few videos, I did offer up some trade opportunities, some trade votes that you guys could vote on through a Google submission form, and I offered that up in the Wednesday GGBL podcast last week. Now, I did call up in September a lot of those trade pieces and those trade acquisitions and guys that were just called up from the minor leagues. So that is also included on the GGBL Bible for year number 2. All the rosters have been updated at the major league level. So at the GGBL professional level, all of those rosters have been updated to take into account the September call-ups. So, guys, let's get right into the playoff matchups. And we're going to kick this off with Boston and Santa Fe, two teams that are in that wild card running. You guys saw a brief glimpse of how close that the AL wild card standing is, and it's actually pretty nuts. It gets crazier down the line in this video, I'll just say that. So let's get through this game. Long video, but we're going to get through it. Jared Cherry, lefty, against Jimmy Polanski, two custom pitchers, and they have pretty good ERAs in their second season as a GGBL professional pitcher, and they need to be good in this one. They need to be real good. Santa Fe Yard is a place that gives up a lot of runs. We've seen it multiple times in gameplay. So you know what? Polanski's got to be good. Cherry's got to be good. And so far, it has been so good. Top 2, Yodi Taveras, a trade acquisition coming over from the Dallas Hatters, trying to solidify that outfield defense for Boston. He comes through the big double there, but Brett Lowry going to fly out here into foul territory, and Brent Rooker makes the catch. Polanski still clean through 2 innings. Bottom third, base knock up the middle. That's a leadoff single here for Santa Fe. We'll see if they can cash in against Jared Cherry. We'll jump ahead to the next batter. 2-2 count. Here is a long fly ball deep to right field. That could go off the wall. Kirilloff giving chase. That's gone. Patrick Wisdom with his 10th home run on the season, giving Santa Fe the lead on Boston 2-0. That's a whiz bomb, as I like to say out in Wrigleyville. Of course, Patrick Wisdom having a great season last year. Top 4, Jimmy Polanski, clean, no more. Solo home run by Miguel Geraldo, number 7 on the season for him. 2 batters later, Mike Ford with a runner on base, absolutely laser beamed this knuckleball. 111 exit velo, and Polanski has now given up the lead. It was 2-1 at that point, now 3-2. Still top 4, and Brett Lowry hits a solo shot himself. That is 3 home runs in this inning off of the lefty Polanski. He will get out of the inning. Let's skip ahead here to bottom 6. 4-2 game. Kirilloff, what is this throw? Wow! On a dime. Here to second base. Off the wall. Played it absolutely perfectly. I don't think a lot of us, even if we tried to do that off the Green Monster in real life, off of Fenway Park, I don't even think you could field that. That's so hard to do. That's so hard to do. It's an amazing throw by Kirilloff. Great job out there on defense to cut the runner down. And as we see, a lot of back and forth action happening here. But oh my goodness. This home run. Take a look at the distance here. Santa Fe now down by 1. You're reading that correctly. 537 feet. What? What? An absolute moonshot. Wilson Contreras, 116 exit velo, 537 feet. Where did this thing even land? It landed behind the concert station. Oh my God, an absolute blast. And then Robbie Grossman, just take a look at this. He's just, yeah, okay. No one's getting that. Not even Superman's getting that baseball. Still the 8th inning. Boston will shut down Santa Fe here. so they can't get another run up on the board. But Tyler Clippard out here, and then we got Charles LeBlanc, a base knock right down the line. And Rooker trying to get this throw off, and they won't. At least not in time before that run's going to come in. It is 5-3. And that is going to be your final score. Boston gets a huge win for them. Absolutely big time. Santa Fe is right up near the top of that AL wildcard spot, and Boston's still trying to chip away. It's a big series. It's a huge series for them, but that's a really nice win, guys. 12 hits on the day, 5 runs scored. Jared Cherry was great. Only 2 earned runs. What else can you ask of him in a hitter's ballpark, to say the least? So Boston came out. Everybody got a hit up on that box score. Jared Cherry, like I mentioned, had a couple strikeouts there. 3 of them, 5 innings. Patino, Feliz, Tapia, Goody, all locked it down. They shut it down completely. And Santa Fe, I mean, it was like very inconsistent. First 2 guys couldn't get on. Broxton, Stott, Contreras 3 for 4. You got Ruth 0 for, Rooker 1 for 4, 2 for 4 for Nevin, 0 for Fowler, Vargas 2 for 4. It's just very inconsistent. They couldn't quite cash in when they needed to. They really relied on the home run ball between Wisdom and Contreras. And, you know, when you live and die by the home run, that's not necessarily a recipe for success. You need to have some consistent hitting across the board. But let's get into the next AL matchup. We've got an AL East matchup that I don't think we've ever seen before. Boston and Michigan. Got Martin Tate on the mound against Justice Sheffield, their ace. And he's not pitching too bad. Martin Tate is custom pitcher. He's pitching fairly well in his second season in the GGBL. And we got a double play ball here right at the top of the first, and Blake Swihart was able to turn that thing. So a trade acquisition piece that came over from San Diego, playing first base today. Connor Altman, former first baseman for this team. He's moving out to the outfield with Swihart coming over. Swihart's not the best defensively. Just makes sense to move the younger guy out there. Here's Connor Altman. We're just talking about him, and he's going to get this check swing called on him. What? I mean, look at this. Look at the replay. There's no way. What is this umpire looking at? I mean, yeah, his hands crossed, but the bat's got to go. That's the check swing. That's the rule, dude. Come on, get it together. Aaron Judge is going to strike out here, and that's going to end the Pittsburgh threats, I guess? It's kind of a weak word right there. They didn't really threaten that much. They might have, as long as Connor Altman gets on base. But we got Hayes getting on base here with a single and another single. Back-to-back hits here for the Michigan Mallards. Dylan Carlson going to strike out. That's a really good pitch by Martin Tate. He's got a bear down here. Here is a potential base knock. That's Reese McGuire, the catcher. It's going to be over Bubba Thompson's head off the wall. And take a look at third base. We got a log jam here with runners. Here comes the throw from shortstop in. 2 runs are going to score. Reese McGuire comes through with a 2-run double in the top of the second. Let's jump to the bottom of the third inning with Scott Kingery up to bat. He is going to send a long, deep fly ball out to left field. That is over Cole Roederer's head. And Kingery, with his 9th home run on the season, cuts into the Michigan lead by 1. It's 2-1 score here. Here's Bubba Thompson. That's going to be a base knock. That extends his hitting streak. I'll give you the number in just a second. But with that 87 speed, he says, I'm into second base easily. I guess I didn't give you the number. It's multiple. I think it's like 7, maybe double-digit number there. But Connor Altman does get a walk, so he doesn't strike out this time on a bad call. Then Aaron Judge makes him pay for it with 2 down, mind you. With 2 down, they had a chance to get Connor Altman. They didn't do it. Now you got to face Aaron Judge. He makes you pay. 3-run home run to the opposite side of the field. You love to see it. If you're Pittsburgh, this is a game that you have to have. 4-2 score, bottom 4, and Jake Knoll, solo home run, making it 5-2. Pittsburgh Hammers laying down the hammer here against the lefty. Sheffield he's just been very inconsistent in this series. I feel like he needs to be better. He just needs to be better. I don't know if the MLB The Show, if MLB The Show hates him or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's just a weird string of events here for him, at least in this league. At least in GGBL play, he's just not very good. Here's Bubba Thompson keeping the hot stick alive. Another home run here for Pittsburgh. That is now 6-2. And you guys saw Martin Tate just pitching a gem right now. He's absolutely shut down Michigan in this latter half of the game. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning. We got a base hit here for Connor Altman, moving the runner up. I got first and second situation. DL Hall, you see his numbers, 1-6 through 32 games, 5.68 ERA. He has not necessarily been good either. But bottom 7, here's Aaron Judge again with nobody down and a 2-1 pitch. That's a two-seam fastball. 91. That's just so easy. Easy for a guy like Aaron Judge to just put over the fence. 432 off of DL Hall, the lefty, and it's now 9-2. Here's Blaze Jordan, a real-life prospect. You guys haven't seen him, go look him up. It's pretty good. 366. His first home run on the season as a September call-up, and it's 10-5, and that's going to do it. So Pittsburgh gets a nice win over Michigan, and they're inching their way back into the AL wildcard discussion. It's getting real tight, man. It's getting real close. We still got a lot of baseball left to be played, but it's just kind of nice to see how these teams are trending in the month of September. Really, it's really kind of cool to see how these teams are going to respond in gameplay and create those storylines naturally, right? So Michigan, unfortunately, their pitching just wasn't good, man. You got Sheffield, who didn't really give him a chance. He had the 6 strikeouts, which was good, but at the same time, the bullpen came in and really blew it, man. They really blew it. Tate moves to 10-12, 5 innings today, 2 earned with 3 strikeouts. You got to like that production. You really do. The strikeouts might not be there, but eventually they will. Eventually they will. As the league grows, as prospects grow, as these youngsters grow in this league, you know, some of these guys are starting to rise to the cream of the crop, and they're going to start getting that all-star caliber type of production. You know, we're going to see those 5 strikeout games, those 3 strikeout games. Not everybody's Shane Bieber, right? So eventually those guys will start producing, but it's just good to see that they're able to come through and get W's, right, for their team, especially when they need it. But let's get out to this AL West matchup. We got Jesse Winker up, and that's going to be a base knock here to left field, and that's Benintendi. Oh my goodness, look at the speed. 96 from Tim LeCastro. The throw was on time, but the nifty little slide by the trade acquisition, Tim LeCastro. Sliding in safely, Jesse Winker with the RBI, and Max Fried, all you got to do is give this guy a lead. Jack Matura, custom prospect, going to strike out. Freddie Freeman, going to strike out. Let's go to the bottom of the second. Yasiel Puig, swing and a miss. Max Fried again. Bottom 2, Nelson De La Cruz. Bye-bye. I mean, you give Max Fried a lead. You give Phoenix a lead. I don't know what else to say to you. I really don't. This team has got such good pitching. You can't get behind the 8 ball here, and you can't allow these things to happen. That's Pedro Alvarez, a rookie this season. Triple, a leadoff triple in the top of the 4th. They could pad on to this 1-0 lead here. And here is Jose Devers. Fly ball deep to center field. That will be caught, but Jack Matura can't plant the feet fast enough. That run's going to score regardless, even if it was shallow. He's got too much speed at third base. But one thing I wanted to mention here real quick is a little sidebar. Pedro Alvarez is a CPU drafted player. So he's a guy that was drafted in year 1, and he's got a D potential, but he's playing well. Same thing with Hayes for Michigan, like we mentioned before. He's a D potential. So maybe in the offseason, what I want to do with you guys is try to vote on what players need to be moved up in their potential rating based on their performance. Because I feel like those 2 guys specifically, they're not playing as a D potential player. They should be playing as a C potential, possibly. I don't want to move them up too far like a B or an A. It'd be kind of ridiculous, but let's get back into the action. More talk on that a little bit later. So 3-0 game after this home run, of course, by Renato Nunez, and then Jesse Winker comes up and says, let's get some more. 31 home runs for Jesse Winker. Now 7-0, and we're in the bottom 9th. And Winker's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. So Phoenix, yet again, wins in gameplay. Now, I like to have these sidebar type of comments when I know that the game's over. I mean, Las Vegas, did they even really have a chance here? I mean, they're one of the teams that's in the AL wildcard race, but the Phoenix Firebirds, dude, their pitching is so good. Like, you get behind them 2-0, 3-0, you're done. You're done. Max Fried, 9 strikeouts today. Jack Matura, 1 hit. De La Cruz, nothing. Benintendi, 1. They had 2 hits on the day. Jamie Barria, 4 innings with 2 strikeouts and 3 walks. It's like, I don't know, man. Phoenix is just so strong. They're so strong. If you are going to pick a team in the AL that would possibly be able to compete against an NL team like Carolina or Los Angeles, I would definitely be trying to go after or picking the Phoenix Firebirds. Their pitching is ridiculous. 468 runs scored against them. Are you kidding me? It's the best in the league. Best in the league. Nuggets atop the wild card spot. The Hammers, after all of the 3 games action that we've seen so far, the Hammers and the Nuggets are there. Spirit half game back of the leader. Swamp Monsters a game back. Revolution 2.5. Mallards, Hawks, Emeralds, Rams, Breeze. Jacks are still technically in it at 7 games with 24 as their elimination number. So there is a lot of baseball left to be played. Let's take a look at the NL side. The Blue Sox in first place. Good boys right behind them. The Heat having a Cinderella type of season. They're 22 games above 500. The Knights holding on to first place pretty handedly. Now the NL side of things is a little bit more figured out. It's not as close. You got the Coyotes at 8.5 back. The Good Boys are 5 games back in the wild card spot. The Maroons are only 2. So, you know, if you're a Richmond fan, do we still have a chance? Yes, but odds are it's probably not going to happen. Look at the runs scored against us, guys. 570, and we lost 4 games in a row. That hurts. That stings a little bit. But let's stick to the AL side of things, because, again, that's just more interesting. At least right now. Anything can happen. NL is still yet to be decided, for sure. But between Chicago and Indiana, both these teams, we've got some storylines to talk about with these two teams, right? Indiana realized that they needed to make a push. They needed to add some outfield help. They need some offense. In Chicago, they're just trying to get on a winning streak, right? And they have. They've actually pushed in order to get to this position in September to play meaningful September baseball, and they're here now. But in the bottom of the first inning, Carlos Asuaje promptly says, I'm going to put a stamp onto that and say, no, sir, you guys aren't making the playoffs, not on our watch. We're in the AL Central, too. We're trying to win this division as well against Columbus. But Peanuts McLovin drives him in. It's a good out to give up. Matthew Allen strikes out Ethan Letterman, who's having a really nice season this year. And then Daniel Palka, the trade acquisition at the top of the second inning, is going to fly out, and that's going to do it for Chicago's half of the inning. Ian Happ, a trade acquisition here for the Indiana Rams, going to draw a walk and get on base and offer up Tyler Freeman a chance to drive him in, but Cespedes is going to make that catch in left field. Here's Bubba Starling. Woo, baby. Big time shot in the top of the third is going to tie the ball game up, and Matt Allen looking up into that Indiana sky and thinking, man, I wish I had that back. Look at this stroke by Bubba. It's a big swing for a guy that doesn't hit a lot of home runs. 1-1 game here, top 4. Leadoff hitter, that's Rangel Ravello. I keep calling him Rangel. At least the PA announcer in MLB The Show says Rangel. So I have not looked this up on YouTube. I haven't looked it up in highlights or anything. I probably should have before doing this vid. But either way, I'm going to start doing it. It's Rangel Ravello. Ethan Letterman going to drive this off of Allen's leg. And take a look at what such a good guy that Ethan Letterman is, man. Look at him coming over here, and he says, I'm out. I'm just gonna come over here and offer my words of sympathy. Make sure you're all right, man. Make sure you're all good. But still top 4, run around third base, and they're gonna get out of it. By the way, Matthew Allen was fine. He's all good. Bottom 4, that's gonna be a base knock again. But this time it's Ian Happ on base for his second time in the game, and Jordan Yamamoto has been shutting the Rams down. This is a good thing to see if you're a Chicago fan. You've been waiting for Jordan Yamamoto to kind of step it up since year 1. But Bubba Starling is going to put a charge into this one again. This one's over Ian Happ's head, and he's going to round second, head for third. Here comes the throw, but they're going to end up throwing it to home. Probably a good call there. He was already close to third as it was, but a triple, his 4th on the season for Bubba Starling. And Allen, you got to wonder if that drive leg is bothering him a little bit, because here in the top of the 5th, that's a base hit by the catcher, Chris Herman, and it's now 2-1. Ethan Letterman, again, another hard hit ground ball, but this time right through the hole. And, you know, as a runner at second base, you do have to hold there. You got to see it through. You got to make sure it's through. You don't want to get caught in no man's land and get caught into a little bit of a pickle there. And now that you have moved over to third base, you got the fly ball, the sac fly, and that's going to get you another run. Smart, headsy baseball by the Chicago Breeze right here. But, oh, Peanuts McLovin set the bat down nicely, and who would have thunk it? I'm a contact hitter only. I'm like DEG out here. Demetrius Edwards-George. Boosh! 389. Projected distance right there. Peanuts McLovin. Solo home run, and Yamamoto's day is done. AJ Alexy comes on in only 2 games. He's a September call-up, if you didn't derive that. Hasn't been in a lot of action, so yeah, September call-up. That's a nice play there by the infielders for Chicago. Alexy trying to get out of this thing, but oh, what do we have here? Little race to first. Jones is going to be safe easily. Manager's looking around like, okay, we got to be careful here. Ian Happ, oh my goodness, I thought that was hit harder than it was. It's going to be caught out in right field, and that's going to do it for Indiana. Top 7. Indiana trying to shut down Chicago. Tanner Roark, 45 pitches in before they finally make a change. Here's Felix Pena. Not pitching too bad. 61 strikeouts and 20 walks, but this is going to be a ground ball here to shortstop. That's Tyler Freeman. He makes the play, but it was close. Alec Boehm with some good speed there. Still going to be 3-2. 1-1 count here to Adolis Garcia. Base knock down the line. And here comes the throw back in. That's going to be second base safely for Adolis Garcia. He reaches there, no problem at all. AJ Alexy strikes out Tyler Freeman. That's 1 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Chucky Robinson, the catcher. Going to ground out here to Alec Boehm. 2 down. Eswahe. 3-2 count. He's going to drive this thing to left. That's Cespedes. He's going to let it drop. And what kind of effort was that? Yoenis. Dude, I know you're like 35 plus years old, but my God, you guys are in a playoff chase here, man. This young team needs you. Eswahe drives in the tying run. It is 3-3. Ravella makes the catch in the infield. Here's Ethan Letterman again. That's going to be a base knock right past Nate Lowe, and that's good for a single. No, Ethan Letterman's rounding first and headed for second, and he's in there way safe. Like, it wasn't even competitive. Ethan Letterman with the speed is going to find himself into second, and is he going to tag up? He's going to get real risky with it? No. He stays at second base, even though Palka did lift that thing. Get it out there in the outfield. Ground ball here to third, and oh no! Off the bag. Nolan Jones just drew Nate Lowe off the bag, but Jones going to make this catch here. Kind of makes up for it. Top 8, 2 runners on, full count, and Felix Pena is going to walk Chris Herman, the number 9 hitter. That is not what you wanted to do. Xavier Edwards, and you want to talk about effort? You want to talk about effort? Cespedes made a better effort in left field than what I just saw right there from Adolis Garcia. That is horrible. My guy, you got to get in there. You got to make that catch. Your season's on the line pretty much. 2 runs are going to score after that single by Xavier Edwards, and this ball is going to land as well right in front of center fielder Ian Happ, making a throw here to pretty much third to try to cut the runners down. But top 8, 6-3, and another walk, and Ravello gets on, and Chaz Rowe is reeling right now. Here's Alec Boehm. That is going to be a line drive. Oh, back ground ball, actually. It's a Peanuts McLovin. He tossed it over to Tyler Freeman, makes the play, but not before the damage has been done. Nate Lowe going the other way. They were playing the shift on him, but he's going to send this to left field. That's Gabriel Maciel coming in and making the throw back in, but a single regardless. Here's Heston Kierstad. Deep and gone. 2-run shot in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that's his 8th of the season. Kierstad against the lefty Jace Fry has now pulled it within 1. All right, okay, but now, you know, hindsight's 20/20 here. If Adolis Garcia comes in and makes an aggressive play, you've got a lead if you're Indiana in the bottom of the 8th. That hurts. Carl Edwards Jr. after Jace Fry strikes out 2 batters. He's going to strike out a third. That's Adolis Garcia again. I'm just not impressed with the effort here by Adolis here today. Maciel's going to strike out against Chaz Rowe, so he's still remained in the game. Anthony Swarzak checks in as the closer, and here's a ground ball to Xavier Edwards. Makes the toss over to first, and Freeman's gone. Chucky Robinson's going to strike out as well. Swarzak shutting him down. Next batter up, Oswahe, strike 3. And Chicago gets a win. This is amazing what's happening here in Chicago. These guys were dead to rights. I mean, they were 10 games back at the deadline. They have now made a couple moves. They got rid of Roberto Osuna at the back end. They acquired some offensive pieces. They acquired Adam Kloffenstein, a nice pitcher to help their depth. They've been making a push now. I mean, Rowdy Tellez is starting to play a little more. Ravello's continuing to hit. This team could make the playoffs. They could make the playoffs. If they keep on this run, they could do it. But if you're Indiana, you got to wonder, is the writing on the wall here? Are you going to start shaking a little bit? Because now it's starting to get a little bit dicey. The pressure is on. But as you guys know that we're there on Twitch, you guys understand that, we're doing this game. With the first 4 games that we watched were at the beginning of the month. And obviously with how close that the races are, you do have to start getting some simulation in there, or else you're going to have a long, long night. I mean, we would be sitting here doing 3 to 4 episodes of the last month of the GGBL season. So you got to get some sim in, and that's what we did here. So we simulated the next 2 weeks of September, and here's your updated standings. So the Pizzazz, the Hammers, the Swamp Monsters, the Nuggets, all tied, a 4-way tie in the AL wildcard. Revolution a game and a half back. Mallards 2, Spirit 3. Emeralds still hanging in at 3.5. Breeze 4.5 back. Crazy the type of production that they're having and the push that they're having. Good Boys now 75 and 68. We've gone 8-2 in our last 10. That is huge for us. Big time for us. I'm anxious to see what that wild card mix looks like. We're actually still 2 games back. We were 5 games back, now 2. It's a logjam now between 4 teams basically. The Hatters are with 9 games as their elimination number. They're 9.5 back. Swing at 10 games back. I just don't think that this is going to happen. We've got maybe two more weeks left of GGBL action here. I think it's a 4-team race in the NL. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and actually simulate the week of the 18th. And that's what you see here. We're sticking on Chicago, kind of getting an update with them. But here is your update now. So Chicago now in 2nd place in the Central. They're 6.5 back. Emeralds now 5 back from the division lead. They've won 4 games in a row, but the Spirits have also won 5 games in a row, kind of holding off that Emeralds late season push. The East, still close. Wild card, still close. The Breeze are now 4 back. Mallards 3, Emeralds 3, Spirit 2, Hammers, Swamp Monsters still holding it down. It's nuts out here, man, in the AL. It's just insanity. It's nuts, guys. Let's go to the NL side of things. Blue Sox, 91 wins this season, 58 losses. The Good Boys now have 70 losses on their record. Copperheads, okay, Copperheads won 2 games in a row, right? They're a couple games back from the Heat. The Knights are the first team to clinch a playoff spot, by the way, by winning their division. Mathematically, the Grizzlies cannot do it any longer. 95 win season at a minimum for the LA Knights. But the Grizzlies and Good Boys and the Copperheads, wow, we have a huge shift in the NL wildcard. The Coyotes are now 7.5 back. Swing are 9 games back. Again, I don't think the NL is between a 4 or 5 team race, a 5+ team race. It's literally between 4 teams that could possibly do it. But for Seattle, I know there's a lot of Seattle fans out there. For Seattle, this was that week right there of last week of September really, really hurt them. Update, Grizzlies have been eliminated from winning the division, obviously. LA Knights did that last week. Grizzlies now 86 and 68. Good Boys 83-71. And again, it's a 4-team race, really. Maroons, Copperheads, Richmond, San Francisco. Coyotes have been eliminated. Moonshots have been eliminated. Every team that you see the E in there, they're done. They can't even compete any longer for it. And that's unfortunate for a lot of you guys that are rooting for these guys. But Jackson Maples have been eliminated too. And take a look again at the wild card spots, guys. I mean, the Emeralds are 2 games back. You got a bunch of teams that are 2 to 3 games back at this point. It's getting crazy. But the Swamp Monsters, as one of the teams that are atop of the wild card position list, they got to get this done against Boston. Boston's still hanging in there too. So an AL East matchup here between both of these 2 clubs. It's going to be pretty entertaining to watch this one, especially in rainy Washington. Rainy October baseball in Washington. Gotta love the grit and the grind. Let's see if Yu Darvish can lock this thing down against a pretty tough Boston team. It's going to be ace against ace. Miles McCollus, yes, 11 and 12. He's an ace at a 3.8 ERA as well. But, you know, it is all relative at the GGBL level. So here's Alexander King with a runner on first base with one down. It's going to be caught out there by Edward Olivares. Still raining. I don't think the rain is going to let up here. Brandon Lau going to strike out. He's been a dangerous hitter all season long, so McCullough is going to get him to K. Here's Olivares, little ground ball here, right past Brandon Lau. That's going to be a base knock. With two down, top two, Boston is threatening. Next batter up, Brett Lawrie. 2-2 pitch. That's going to be a nice pitch by Darvish. And he gets out of the little mini jam. DJ Taylor, custom prospect, third baseman for the Swamp Monsters. Deep fly ball in the corner, and Grossman makes a nice catch. Good defense. Runner on first base, McCullough, little slide step here, but nice throw by Evan Gaddis is going to cut down Corey Ray. Great defense. And oh my goodness, the big man, Mike Ford, has got some jump. He's got some hops up there at first base. Oh my god, look at this play. Wow, by Almanzar, the shortstop to Lau. Back to first for the double play ball. Man, the defense is really shining here in a wet and rainy condition. But this is going to be the first run scored, by the way, guys. Benson scores off the base hit by Almanzar. Take a look at this throw by Evan Gaddis and cuts down another runner. That's Almanzar trying to steal, and then a little fly ball, little pop-up, I should say, a little pop-up, and Gaddis makes the play. So, man, we've had some good defense. We've had some clutch hitting. We've had some good pitching. Talk about defense yet again. Look at this play. Woo! DJ Taylor, that fires me up. But they can't twist it. But either way, man, that's going to save a possible runner on third base there. I would bet you that runner would be moving from second to third on that base knock there. But great play by DJ Taylor to cut that runner down, cut the lead runner down, and that's going to lead to a strikeout on Evan Gaddis. And here's a deep fly ball. DJ Taylor, wow, put a charge into this one. Olivares almost caught it, but it's over the wall, and DJ Taylor is 14th home run on the year, 416, and that is going to get Washington another run. It's now 2-0. Brett Lawrie says, we got to tie it up. We got to try to tie this thing up any way possible. Solo shot, making it 2-1. That cuts into the lead, and Darvish, his day is done. I don't really blame Washington for taking him out at this point. He'd been in a little bit of some jams there through the first couple innings, and you know, it's in a situation where the weather and the conditions are playing a factor. It's going to be a long rest of the week, man. It's going to be a long week of GGBL action, so you've got to like save your best arm in this situation. I know it's close right now, and you gotta take care of things that are in front of you now. But you know, you gotta save Darvish if you really need him down in the stretch. But this double here, ground rule double actually by Brock Holt, is gonna lead up to Alexander King, base hit right in front of Kirilloff, and that's gonna score 2 runs. And look at King, he's not stopping. He says, I want more. Give me into second base. And McCullough's day is done just like that. Washington really strung together a really solid inning right there. Luis Patino coming in against Brandon Lau, and boink! Opposite field approach. Brandon Lau with the double. It's now 6-1 Washington in the bottom 5th inning. Mike Ford. Okay, we'll give you that one. It seems like you hit home runs every time we see you in gameplay. Every time. I don't think I've ever seen a gameplay with Boston with Mike Ford not hitting a home run. So 6-2, Corey Ray says the same thing. I got to get another home run. I got to get one too. Get me in on the action. That's his 20th on the year. And then Brandon Lau, let's do it again. Another home run for Washington. 8-2. Number 34 for Brandon Lau. We'll jump ahead to the top of the 9th as we see Nestor Cortez getting a ground ball to Brandon Lau. Little flip back over to first base. Nice pick by Alexander King. And that is your game. 8-3 final score. I didn't show you the other Boston run because the game's over, guys. They didn't even make an effort. Didn't really make it competitive, I guess you'd say, to enough to show it, right? So they got the 1 run in the 8th, as you see on the box score. But yeah, ultimately, you know, Boston only scattered across 5 hits. Again, I mean, it was very inconsistent. The pitching with McCullough, I don't want to say he was bad. I don't want to say he was bad. I just think Washington just has a really good offense. And they got it done today. And they really needed to in order to make sure that they were making the best possible push for these playoffs as they can. But here's Justice Sheffield again. This is the second time we've seen him in gameplay here today. And Michigan is hosting Seattle. So two teams, of course, as you know, are trying to make a push for the playoffs. And here's KAJ, Kenneth Alexander Jr. If Seattle wants to make the playoffs, they need this guy to come through and have a huge game today. And right off the get-go, in the top of the first inning, he's going to drive a triple. Right off the rip. His 6th on the season as a triple. Willie Calhoun comes up with 1 out, and he sends it all the way to the wall. Steele Walker can't make the catch. He's going to get this relay throw off, and Willie Calhoun makes it 2-0, top first. 26th double. Guys, we're still in the top of the first. Jumbo Candyman now with 2 down, and Cole Roederer fields this perfectly. Nice throw in there to Reese McGuire to stop the push by Seattle, and this is actually off the foot of Bonifacio. He hit him. So again, Sheffield was not good against Pittsburgh, and he hasn't been good here against Seattle. Nico Horner probably swung at a pitch that he definitely shouldn't have. I don't know why Sheffield is screaming and yelling and all pumped up. I mean, my guy, it's 2-0, and you weren't even that good. But luckily, Michigan teammates have his back. And maybe that's what fired him up a little bit, right? They see their pitcher struggling, battling, fighting, and finally he comes through with a big strikeout. And his teammates get fired up too and come up with a big 2-run shot right there. Geraldo Perdomo getting the 2-run homer. It's now 3-2 as we jump ahead. And you might be wondering, Goldie, you're going real fast right here with the highlights in this one. Well, guys, if you saw the Twitch stream, you know what's about to happen, okay? You know what's about to happen. Jed Jerko hits a solo home run to tie the game up. And we got a nice defensive play there by Wander Franco and Jose Peraza teaming up here. And here's Jorge Bonifacio. Solo home run in the top 4. That's going to take the lead for Seattle, 4-3. 15th home run for Bonifacio. But Bregman says, we want the lead back. Thank you very much. It's 5-4 now in the bottom of the 4th. So you got to get the idea, right? Kind of have an idea what's happening here. Huh? Do you? I think you do, if you're following the trends. Urias is going to be relieved of his duties today after giving up multiple runs. 9 hits in 3 innings and 5 strikeouts. He had the strikeout pitch working, but he wasn't avoiding bats very well, right? I mean, struck out 5 guys, but for the most part, 9 hits, multiple runs. Dylan Carlson comes in, hits a solo home run as well. And I'm looking at this like, what is happening in this game today? Jose Peraza's hitting home runs. Carlson's hitting home runs. Bonifacio's hitting home runs. I mean, it doesn't matter who's pitching out here. It doesn't matter. Garrett Launchball, though, comes out and has to get the biggest man on the team for Seattle, the biggest hitter, KAJ, and he does. He does a job in the top of the 5th. Look at Sheffield's line here, guys. 2 strikeouts, 6 hits, 5 earned on the day. Just a very poor outing by Justice Sheffield. But take a look at this throw by Cole Roederer. He's in foul territory at the warning track. A 1-hopper to second base. He's going to gun Jed Jerko out, digging for 2. Jed Jerko thought he had that in the bag. Oh my goodness. But take a look. KAJ out in center field misfires this to the cutoff man, and that's going to allow Hoyjin Park to get in with a 1-out triple. Perdomo lifts a little fly ball out here to left, and that's going to be caught by Bonifacio. He tries to make the throw off, and Hoyjin Park is going to score easily. Now, had he thrown to the cutoff man, maybe he would have gotten him. Maybe they would have gotten a good relay there. Hard to tell. Either way, didn't give him much of a shot. William Quo is actually an interesting call here in an 8-5 game. With 2 down, he's going to walk the first batter he faces. He's going to walk Robert Hayes the next batter he faces. And then the third batter he faces, at the minimum, you can't take him out. You got to have the 3-batter minimum. He walks the next batter. Here's a ground ball. That is going to possibly get him out of the inning. It does. He walked the bases loaded, and then gets the ground ball that he needed. Crazy. Garrett Launchball comes up, strikes out. Nico Horner gets out of the inning. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning as we see a deep fly ball here to center. KAJ giving chase. Not the fleetest of foot out there in center field, but he gets the job done. And the throw comes in to cutoff, and not much he can do, man. There's not much he can do out there in center. That's going to be another triple given up as William Quo gives it up. He's still out there pitching, and that's to Steele Walker, the September call-up. Now here's a base knock into the gap. That's 2 back-to-back gap shots here. KAJ getting the throw off, and again, it's another triple. Another triple given up by William Kuo. This time to Reese McGuire, the catcher. Hoyjun Park, ground ball here to second. Peraza makes the flip, but the run's going to score. It's now 10-5, and Kuo has been struggling. But here's a deep drive with a runner on second base already. And Bonifacio, that's number 2 on the game. You like the matchup, though. Righty on lefty. Righty Bonifacio on the lefty launch ball. And it brings Seattle back within 3. Robert Stock comes in the top of the 8th, and Nico Horner, of all people, hits a solo home run. It's now 10-8. So don't technically count Seattle out of the game. Maybe I take that back. Michigan gets the home run back. 31st home run for Bobby Bradley, 394-foot shot. It's a decent little home run right there, right? Roberto Osuna with a lead now, 11-8, is going to come on and try to earn his chops. Here's a nice dive by Cole Roeder. That's the type of effort that I like to see from my outfielders that we didn't see in the Chicago and Indiana game. Peraza, looping fly ball out here to right. That's going to be caught by Carlson, but we got a tag up at second base, headed for third. The tag comes in, but safe is the call. KAJ comes up, hits a ground ball to Perdomo. Perdomo fires this to first, and the bobble didn't happen. KAJ's out. Either way, the run was going to score, but KAJ gives his team a chance. It's 11-9. Calhoun strikes out, and the writing's on the wall for Seattle. Osuna, the primetime trade acquisition for this team, trying to lock it down, and he can't do it. Jed Jerko, 2-run shot to tie the game with 2 down. What a moment for the Emeralds. You gotta be pumped up about that. Osuna has to be beside himself. He needed that moment for this team, for Michigan to stay in this game, to win the game, to stay in the wild card push, and he didn't do it. So Matt Manning's got to come in and try to clean up the mess that he made. Nobody on base. Jumbo Candyman hits a double, a 2-out double. Seattle has a moment to take the lead. Bonifacio, deep fly ball to deep center field. Steele Walker giving chase. Makes the catch at the warning track. This man, Jorge Bonifacio, almost had his 3rd home run of the game, and it would have been huge for Seattle. Marcus Walden comes on and gets the first out. Easy out. Perdomo goes down. Bregman in a full count. He's going to walk it. That's not good. It's not good. Because now you got some things that can happen here. A stolen base. A walk now. Ooh, now you're in dire situation now, guys. 1 down, and Dylan Carlson is up. He's going to walk as well. You've got bases loaded situation. Bobby Bradley comes up, and in the biggest moment for him, he sends a little nubber, and this could get the run home. Walden's got to go home. He can't get the throw off. Bregman scores, and Michigan walks it off. Bobby Bradley with the little nubber, with a game that had this much offense, this many home runs flying out of the ballpark. This is what's going to win it. A little chopper right in front of home plate is going to win the game. That is what could cost Seattle their entire season. 23 runs have been scored in this game, over 30 hits, no errors for Seattle, by the way. They played stellar defensively, and they still lose. It's crazy to me what this team is able to do. When it comes down to clutch moments and clutch situations, they just can't come through. And it's the story of the team. It's the story of the team since we first started in opening day against Indiana, if you guys remember that. Now they've cleaned it up. They've cleaned up the infield mistakes. They've cleaned up the fielding mistakes. But ultimately, the youth, I think, is what cost them today. So here we are. We're in the final week of the season, and as you see, we're on Santa Fe's team page. They swept Seattle, which therefore means Seattle has been eliminated from the playoff picture. Which means another thing. The Spirit and the Nuggets are hanging in there in the West, trying to fight for wild card positioning. Let's get an update on what the playoffs are looking like, guys. We only have 3 games left. We got the Heat winning their division at 90-69. The Blue Sox win their division. The Knights and the Grizzlies have officially made the playoffs. However, we got a situation here with the Good Boys and the Maroons. Good Boys, right now we're in the wild card spot, but with 3 games left to go, we got to at least win one of them, and St. Louis has to lose at least one of theirs. That's really what it comes down to. Cardinals, by the way, have won the AL Central. They're officially in the playoffs. Now, the Nuggets are a game back of the Firebirds. So as we simulate this game for the Pizzazz, they have now clinched the AL East. They're in the playoffs officially. The Cardinals, the Firebirds, they won, by the way. Firebirds won, so they've clinched the AL West. Now, the situation for the wild card, we got the Nuggets, the Swamp Monsters, and the Spirit all fighting for those 2 wild card spots. So Washington wins. They haven't necessarily clinched the wild card spot yet. So we're going to dive right into this game here, as this is the last series, the last 2 games between Santa Fe and Las Vegas. So in a 5-4 game, Sixto Sanchez in the bottom of the 5th strikes out Yasiel Puig. Next batter up, Colin Moran. Base knock here. That's going to put Las Vegas in a tie with Santa Fe. 5-5 in the 5th. Fives are wild. Benintendi going to draw a walk here. Sixto has got to get it together. He's already over 100+ pitches. Next batter up, that is Orlando Arcia, and he's going to check his swing, but ump says he went. And Sixto is fired up. Baby. I know you just gave up the lead, but that's a huge moment for you, a huge moment for your team, a huge moment for your playoff chances in a very, very close AL West matchup here. Base knock. Matt Latos giving up the base hits to Patrick Wisdom. He's going to load the bases. Really good throwing arm out there by Yasiel Puig. He's always had a good arm. But way to cut down the runner here. Oh, nice pitch there. Latos going to strike out Keon Broxton. Big moments for Santa Fe right now. Big moment for both teams, actually. But here's Bryson Stott. Little looping fly ball. Can Benintendi get to it? He will. He'll camp underneath this and make the catch. And as we see, Kai Souza Barbosa coming up to the plate here. He hit a home run earlier in this game. He's going to swing and a miss right through the 4-seam fastball by Justin Dillon. 1 down in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Nelson De La Cruz. That's a base knock right in front of right fielder. Angelo Ruth got to come on and make a good throw here. He throws it into home, but it's off to the left side, or the right side. Really, left for him, but right for the catcher. Either way, it was offline, and that gives Las Vegas the lead. They will get a double play. It is Santa Fe, and they get out of the inning. Latos comes up in the 7th inning. He's still out there. Angelo Ruth, custom prospect, grounds into a double play. They really needed him to come through with a base knock, but Freddie Freeman delivers a big knock for the Nuggets. He's going for 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a leadoff double in a full count, no less. Huge moment, huge hit for them, and that won't lead to a score, however. So Las Vegas can't knock him in. Let's go to the top of the 8th as Tom Key is coming in as a relief pitcher. And he's going to give up back-to-back base hits. So next batter is Ildiarmo Vargas. Ground ball here to second. Flip from Che De La Guerra to De La Cruz. The two De Las are going to twist the double play. Runner on 3rd, and Patrick Wisdom strikes out. Tom Key gets it done. Let's go to the top 9th. Bryson Stott laying down a bunt, and nobody is there. Everybody went in for the ball. Latos covered it perfectly. So he did a good job, but that's a base knock here for Stott. Ground ball, Freeman back to De La Cruz, and they turn the double play. Top 9, guys, if you didn't notice, right? Top 9, runner on 3rd, and Angelo Ruth had a chance to tie the game up, but the throw comes in. That's an out. Las Vegas has officially eliminated Santa Fe from playoff contention. The Nuggets have punched their ticket into the playoffs. And no, I didn't. I just noticed that the 2 infielders, De La Guerra and De La Cruz, they were fake punching each other. So I did not even mean to get that to be punny. I really didn't. You got to trust me on that. But De La Cruz, man, went 4 for 4 today with 2 ribbies. Souza Barbosa, 2 for 4 with 3 ribbies. De La Cruz and Souza Barbosa he had 2. Souza Barbosa had 2, believe it or not. So when I look at this team and I see where Las Vegas can go, they can go pretty far, especially with those 2 custom prospects on the team. Some good pitching, but they got Dallas Keuchel in there too from the trade. They could make some moves there. But there's your updated playoff picture, guys. You got the Heat, the Blue Sox, the Knights, the Grizzlies, the Pizzazz, the Swamp Monsters, the Firebirds, all those guys you just saw, the Columbus Cardinals. They're all in, but we still got one more thing left to cover. It's who's going to make it into the NL wildcard number 2 spot. And as you saw, we simulated. The Maroons won their game. So they now have 88 wins on the season. If the good boys lose this game against the Atlanta Sting, and we have basically lost our grip on this wild card positioning, because we've lost 2 games in this series to Atlanta. They could potentially sweep us here today. If they do, we're out of the playoffs. And right now it ain't looking too good. Richmond strikes out. Darius Wilson. What are we doing? What are we doing? Joe Shotora comes up. Promptly says, it's okay. I'm going to get on with a double. It's a 1-out double here for Joe Shotora. Custom prospect. Good hit. Nice job. Matt Olson. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Don't give me that curveball. Right down the middle. Just where I like it. 2-run shot here for the good boys. Okay. Things are starting to turn around a little bit. 445-foot blast. Changeup. High and inside. You can't do that. This is why the Atlanta Sting are the worst team in baseball. So really it all lined up for us to just take care of our business. Win a couple games here. And get out of here and go into the wild card. Punch your ticket. Clinch your spot. But we didn't get it done. But looks like we're getting it done now. A little better late than never, I guess. Michael Ruth comes up in the running for NL Rookie of the Year. Little fly ball out there to center field. Kyle Isbell fires this back in, but the run's going to score. It's now 4-0 here in the top of the first against Simeon Woods Richardson. We won't scratch across any more runs as Clark Schmidt takes the mound for us in a crucial game in order to make the playoffs. He's going to strike out Nick Markakis in a clean inning. Brett Beatty has now taken over the third base job over Jake Lamb, who's no longer with us. Johan Camargo has been playing there as well as a trade piece, but David Wright has seen a lot of regression, and Brett Beatty has been hitting, so it's like, why not play him there, right? So he gets that home run to make it 5-0. We're still continuing to hit, and Brock Burke comes on to get some relief work in. It's top 2. It's 5-0. There's nobody down. It's Matt Olson. We're looking high and inside right here, as you can see, with PCI placement, but we get it low and away. Cut fastball. That's going to score another run. Ground ball. Jahmai Jones throwing it over to first base. Gets the out. Here's Kyle Lewis going for home run number 2. Oh, no. Oh, God. Third base. Get back. Runner, get back. Connor Falefa, what are you doing? Throw it to third base. That's an easy double play. He throws it home. And again, guys, this is why they're the Atlanta Sting. They're bad. They're the worst team in the GGBL. This is what they do. Top 5th with 1 down, and Brett Beatty says, give me number 2. 2 home runs in the day. I don't know where this offense was. Maybe I need to start using the PCI a little bit more than I do. I don't use the PCI. If you guys watch Royals, I don't use the PCI. If you've watched Richmond Good Boys games in the past in the live streams, I just don't use the PCI. I just think it's cluttering. It clutters my view. But apparently I was wrong about that. I'm hitting well. It's 10-0. We got an inside the park home run based on an error. Again, like Atlanta. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? 10-0 game. Bottom 5. Clark Schmidt. Why am I continuing to show you guys highlights? This game's over. Why am I continuing to do that? Well, we're through 6 innings without a single hit. Yeah, we could be through 7. Oh, God. Catch this, please. Tora. Nice grab out in left field at the warning track. And Clark Schmidt, yeah, he knows what's going on here. Bottom 8, striking out the trade acquisition, Lewin Diaz. You can see the graphic there in the bottom right. No hitter through 7 1/3. 2 down. Make it 7 2/3. Oh, baby. Bottom 8. There you go. It's always bottom 8, isn't it? Or top 8. It's always the 8th inning. It's always the 8th inning. Just when you think you got it in the bag, Connor Falefa comes up and sends a single. Let's go bottom 9th, and Ijaz Piasfiu going to strike his man out, and that's it. So the good boys have punched their ticket into game 163. Yes, you heard that correctly, game 163. We're tied in record with the St. Louis Maroons. The Grizzlies hold on to wildcard spot number 1. So we have to play game 163 now to determine who's going to get the right for wildcard spot number 2. Absolute blowout victory, man. Absolute blowout victory. 19 hits today, 11 runs to nothing, and 1 hit for Atlanta. They just didn't even show up today. And technically, I don't blame them. I really don't. Maybe they threw us a bone. That's no pun intended there either, so I didn't even mean that. But, you know, good boys boned. Maybe the Sting gave us... You get it. You get it. Awards, guys. Awards. We'll talk more about this at length on the Wednesday podcast. But tomorrow, Tuesday the 9th, we're going to be showing the whole entire game of Richmond versus St. Louis. No commentary, just in-game sound, but I'll upload the video for you guys' viewing pleasure. You can tune in, you can tune out, you can do whatever you want with it. But I'm going to upload it anyway because I think it was a good game all the way around. It's over on Twitch as well if you want to get a little sneak peek. But if you want to sit there and watch it with everyone else in the live chat on YouTube, because I know some of you guys don't have Twitch or you just don't do Twitch, which is fine. But if you want to see the game, I'm going to upload it tomorrow, Tuesday, November 9th, so you guys can all watch it. And we'll determine who's going to advance to the wild card game. So this is game 163. And we're going to determine who's going to take on those San Francisco Grizzlies in the wild card matchup. But we're taking on St. Louis, man. It's going to be a tough matchup. We've got Daniel Lynch against Shane Bieber, the Cy Young Award winner. And we got our work cut out for us. If we can play like we did against Atlanta, we should be able to advance. We got to get that timely hitting going. It's going to be a real tough test, man. Shane Bieber is a beast on the mound. 19-4, 199 against our own ace, Daniel Lynch, who wasn't as good. 4-1-7 and 11-8. And it's going to be a tough test. So, guys, leave a like if you like this thing. What did you think about the playoff race in the GGBL? Were you stoked about it? Were you happy about it? Were you happy with your results? Did your teams make it? Let me know in the comment section below. I will catch you guys in the next one tomorrow for game 163 and Wednesday for the GGBL podcast. I have a playoff bracket challenge for you guys that I'm going to release on Wednesday during the podcast. We'll talk about those matchups, give our previews, give our predictions of how we think the series are going to go, and ultimately who we think is going to win the entire Year 2 GGBL World Series. So guys, leave a like if you like this thing. I'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you for watching, and peace.